It's Only Sport with Martin Devlin on the platform. Brought to you by One New Zealand. Let's get connected.
I've been looking forward to this bit all day. Eric Thompson, the foremost motorsport writer in this country. He's been writing for the Herald for decades. Liam Lawson, all the rumours confirmed ET overnight. Yes, he is going to be racing F1 for the last 6 races of the year. So all the congratulations, all the accolades, all the pats on the back, all of that. Let's just park all that to one side and let's get down to business. What does he have to do in the next 6 races?
Points, Marty. Points. And then secondly, a straight car. Don't bend the thing. Don't incur big bills. And the thing that will really cement him for a permanent seat in 2025, if he beats Yuki Tsunoda, that will be the big indicator. He's got to be his
explain
teammate.
to us
all teammates want to be teammates.
Sure, just the layman, thing about it. So it's not Red Bull, it's RB. What is the actual difference here?
Well, it used to be Toro Rosso, which was the junior development team for Red Bull Racing, the main team. It's like Daniel Ricciardo cut his teeth on it, then it was Toro Rosso, and then so did Max Verstappen, so did Sebastian Vettel. It was where they put the young hotshots in to see whether they had the mettle to actually be promoted to the main team. And that team was never expected to win races or challenge for championships. It was a development thing. And then it sort of morphed into this weird thing, V-carb, Red Bull, whatever it's called now. It's about 10 foot long. Last year morphed into this, we're going to challenge for this, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and we're going to, take on the main team. But that's not really what happened. And then Helmut Marko sort of said, well, actually, it's supposed to be a development team. So that's why you had Yuki Tsunoda. So putting Daniel Ricciardo in there was a bit of an odd thing because he was going to actually move into Red Bull, the main team that has all the kudos and prestige to take over from Sergio Perez, but Ricciardo didn't perform, and that category and that championship is the one where you really have to perform. And he didn't, so now it's turned back into a development team. So Lawson has his time in the seat for the rest of the season, as you rightly said, Marty. If he does really well, he'll probably might get promoted into the main team, because I don't think Perez will be there next year, to the main team, and then they'll probably put some other youngster in with Tsunoda.
5 races last year, best finish of 9th, so he picked up some points. Chances of him getting on a podium in these next 6 races are what?
Mathematically, as that catch-all, get out of jail free card, it's possible. If it was a stinking wet race, Marty, between now and the end of the season, and half a dozen other people fired off left, right and centre, and a couple of mechanical DNFs, it's quite possible he could get on the podium. I think if he can regularly finish in the top 10, everybody will be as happy as the pig in the proverbial. Podium, highly unlikely.
What do you like about him as a driver?
His resilience. From fans of the sport, if they watched that Drive to Survive last year, I mean, for that guy who had the camera on him when he was told he wasn't going to get the seat. And, he was quite distraught, really. And, he sat there and says, I don't understand how the guy who I've beaten regularly gets the seat before I do. Well, we all know why, because Tsunoda...
Yeah, of course we know why.
Bottomless Honda money pits. But as a pure driver, and he sat there. Now, he could have gone anywhere he wanted to, but he decided, no, I'm going to nut this out. So he stayed there, did his time, and he's been rewarded for that. But also, everybody might think that's a bit of a fairy tale, Marty, but not true. Red Bull had to do something with him really quick because his contract ran out, well, basically now. And they know if he went to another team, he would be a bit of a star. He's got a star, Marty. And it's also when he raced last season. Remember when he was dumped in at Zandvoort in the pouring rain? And he did really well. I think he finished 13th in his first ever race in the pouring rain in a real grungy grunter of a track at Zandvoort. So that made people sit up. Then, of course, he scored V-Card's first points last year before Sonoda picked up some. So, he scored points there. And under the pressure of suddenly being dumped in, he didn't crack, drove a really calm, methodical race. But he's also good at feedback, Marty, to the engineers. And that's what you really needed. Somebody who can talk to you about the car so they can get the car to work for you.
What I like is some of the comments. I'm going to read you some of these from the interviews that he's done today. Obviously, I'm very happy. There's 6 rounds left of the season, though, so I've come in at a difficult time. It's very special, but we don't have much time to let it really sink in. We've got to get straight to work. These guys have done 3/4 of a season, so I have to try to compete with that now at tracks I haven't done as well, so it's going to be challenging. What I'm reading from him is that, yes, the opportunity, he's delighted about it, but he's also very circumspect and he knows, what is in front of him and how he has to perform. This isn't something that, oh, joy. This is something that he's actually worked for so hard that he realises now the importance of exactly what it is. So he's got a great head on his shoulders for such a young man. And I'm just reading and listening to his interviews. That's all I'm gleaning from, right?
Oh, absolutely, Marty. And also, he cut his teeth up in Asia. He thought, no, going via Europe's too hard, so he's one of the early adopters of going up and doing a Formula 4 championship up in Asia. He's also raced in the Super Formula in Japan. He also raced in the DTM. In fact, he won races in a tin top and a GT car. So, for a young guy, he's been around in different situations, but he's quite measured and doesn't get rattled in the car. And I think that's what Red Bull and, the whole senior management just like, that phrase, the cut of his jib. They just like the way he doesn't get rattled. He's very measured when he races. He doesn't have a reputation of crashing cars at all, even in junior formulas. So they know he's not going to go out there, red mist descends and the berserker rage take over and stick it into the wall. They know he'll be quite measured and he sort of knows what he has to do. And it's consistency.
It's Only Sport with Martin Devlin on the platform. Brought to you by One New Zealand. Let's get connected.